Every time I hear those words, I think of that asshole.
Yeah.
You know what else? Every time I hear the word loofah, same thing.
Same here.
Yeah. He really ruined the concept of a loofah for me, actually.
I we're live and all these people are getting in, so you're gonna have to expand on those comments.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, we were just talking about, we say we're going live, and I was saying, every time I hear those words, I can't help but think of Bill O'Reilly and his famous tantrum. And then I realized, like, I also think of Bill O'Reilly when I think of loofahs, which is really unsettling, and probably the reason I don't use a loofah anymore.
And yeah, I may have to throw mine out.
Well,
I'm
what a
always
treat.
so skeptical of Substack in their beta version. So I'm just, yeah, we're live. Okay, cool. Just making sure on the app that we're good to go.
Nice.
Yeah,
Is
makes me
anybody
feel a lot
saying
better.
hello? I usually can see when people are like, hello, everybody.
Yeah, I'm gonna play around and see if I can pull this stuff up. But it is here. Turn my volume off. Maybe I can't do it on my phone because we're on. But yeah, we're live.
Cool.
And going. So how's it going, man?
It's going great. I live in the dumbest fucking country on the planet, led by the dumbest sons of bitches on the planet, and I have to laugh to keep from crying, and I have to cuss to keep from crying. I don't know, man. The thing about Trump is you convince yourself almost hourly that it can't get any worse, that it can't get any dumber, and it's almost like he takes that as a challenge. Monday, Tylenol day was just
Do you think he
like
takes it as a challenge because of you?
yeah, well, I think he wants to prove that he can, in fact, be dumber. But I mean, the Tylenol thing, I was at an actual loss for words. I can't remember ever seeing anything that dumb. Like it was almost like a comedy sketch, right? Like the most arrogant, confident people who are just talking out of their asses. And then he follows it up with the UN thing and the escalator conspiracy theories, and you just think, at some point, even the stupidest sons of bitches on the planet stop believing this stuff, right? I mean, obviously not. But it's just like, okay,
Like
so
we want to think that.
right. Well, it's like, so Monday we're doing Tylenol. Tuesday, Tuesday we're doing escalators trying to kill me, and then on Wednesday you should absolutely believe us when we tell you that somebody wrote anti-ice on a bullet casing. It's like, I don't know. That feels like Monday was a strike, Tuesday was a strike, three strikes you're out. I don't know.
And it
I
was
have
the escalator and the teleprompter, I think. And then if we talk about Dallas later, I have a whole bunch of other thoughts on that.
yeah, no. Well, I guess my point is this: like credibility matters, and if they had any left, which let's be honest, they don't. They exhausted a long time ago. But if they did, they would have blown through it pretty quickly this week. Like, I'm not trusting the Tylenol freaks when it comes to national security. I'm not trusting the escalator conspiracy people when it comes to,
No, if they're telling us not to use Tylenol, although I'm not a pregnant woman, but like if they're telling us not to use something, we probably should, right? It's just like, don't get a vaccine.
right.
Well,
Oh, yeah. No, I've
let's go
started
get the
like,
vaccine.
yeah, no, I've taken like 500 Tylenol since Monday. I've started like popping them. I'm popping them like Tic Tacs.
Um, so, all right, before we got on,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think even where to start. How about we just start with today's newsletter and one or two things from there as I pull up some comments and questions from people. And then I have a bunch of, there's been a lot of things that have happened today. And I think you have an interesting take. So I want to bring that up. But can you talk a little bit about I think most people have seen it by now, but Friendship Month and the statues that were supposed to be there until 8 p.m. on Sunday?
Yeah, these resistance heroes who put up these statues of Trump and his best friend Jeffrey Epstein, because they were best friends. And what better way to celebrate Friendship Month than to bring attention to these two high-profile pedophiles and their friendship? We love the trolling. We love performance pieces. And so we were so happy to see that. And then Trump, being the cowardly buffoon that he is, sends park police in the middle of the night to take this thing down. Here's where it gets really fucked up. The people who put up the statue got a permit. They got a permit that was good through the 28th. And so the park police defied that permit to take it down. So fucked up. This was a violation. This is a First Amendment case, right? Like,
Yeah, and for
that-
those that like have never been through the process, you don't just like walk over there and like walk away with your permit. It is an application process. It asks
Yeah.
a whole bunch of stuff and it has certain requirements. And in this case, because of the statues, they had to hire a security team, you know, that, and again, in DC, right? There's a certain level of threshold. If you're going to be a security, that you have to be on probably an approved vendor list and all that kind of stuff. So they had everything that they needed. But in addition to that, in order to take away a permit, you have to give notice of why, and you have to give at least 24 hours. In this case, I don't think it had been up for 24 hours. And if
No.
it had, they certainly didn't give 24 hours.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've said this before, but the only thing I like about Trump is he's got a shit poker face. Like, you know, the stuff that upsets him, you know, the stuff that gets under his skin. And by sending park police to take this down, it's like, oh, good, it was working. It was bothering him. And so I
In the
really,
middle of the night, by the way, right? I mean, you
right.
put a WUSA 9 story, which is a local DC outlet in there, but it just happened to be a random Reddit user that filmed it. Otherwise, you know, maybe we had heard something, you know, a day or two from now from the organizers,
Mhm.
but they just tried to take this thing in the middle of the night, and some wonderful Reddit user posted it.
Mhm. Yeah, otherwise they would have blamed it on some trans kid or something, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love
mean,
how the attribution, by the way, was like something vegetable Reddit user in the WUSA 9 piece.
that's actually pretty tame for Reddit, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, I thought it was a magnificent piece of trolling. I think it's also important to keep highlighting this issue because there are victims who are still crying out for justice. Every time I say this, I just want to slap myself, but thank you to Thomas Massey for keeping this front and center. Obviously, big news out of Arizona last night, where Adelita Grijalva won a special congressional election to fill her father's seat. That gets us to the magic number 218 to force a vote on this discharge petition, to force a vote to release the files. Yeah, you can see why Trump's a little freaked out. And frankly, I think if they weren't already going to shut down the government, I think the threat of the Epstein files coming out would be enough for them to do it. You and I were talking earlier about Congressman Clay Higgins, who is just.
Okay, so it's so funny how this works. The first thing I downloaded, here it is.
Yeah.
So as we're talking about it.
What a chode.
I'm going to remove this so people can see the whole thing. No, but keep going. But anyways, this is the tweet.
Yeah. So Clay Higgins says, you know, it's a shame that Thomas Massey wants to injure the Republican Party. And it's like, whoa, who's talking about the Republican Party? We're talking about Epstein and the files. Like, why would that hurt the Republican Party, Clay? What is it you want to share with the rest of the class, Clay? And then you start thinking, well, gosh, also, what else is Clay trying to cover up? I mean, personally, I don't know.
Probably a lot for anyone who's watched him in a hearing.
Yeah, he's a freak, man. Didn't he used to work for Ted Cruz? I mean,
I'm not sure he did, but
normal people don't take that job.
He's the one, right, that leans into his law enforcement experience, right?
Yeah.
And you can just picture
just the
way he would have been talking and acting on the street. Yep.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's so easy. That guy's got dirty fucking cop written all over him. Yeah. What a piece of shit. Anyway, you know, the Republican effort to cover up the Epstein files continues. And, but, you know, here's what I would say. The pressure we're putting on when it comes to stuff like that is working. And you know how I know that? I watched Jimmy Kimmel last night. There's been this feeling among a lot of us since last November that everything's lost, that this was it. Now we're going to have to start over. And there may be some truth to the start over part, but there's not truth to everything is lost. It's not over till we fucking say it's over, because this is America and we get to decide. The outpouring of support for Jimmy Kimmel, and I don't think it was all for Jimmy Kimmel. I think it was for the right to free speech. The way Americans came together and said to Disney, "Get your fucking shit together, or we're canceling." I don't know, man. I don't know about y'all, but it was a win that I needed. I needed us to notch a victory, because it's all these little victories add up to big victories, and the big victory is to say, hey, that none of this is inevitable. Fascism in America is not inevitable. It's got powerful allies. It's got shit tons of money. It's had a lot of big victories, and it's doing a lot of damage, but it's not inevitable, and it can be beat. And so I think that's what I've felt this week, in addition to just shaking my head violently at the Tylenol shit.
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy Kimmel, he didn't come out naked. He didn't come out with orange makeup as maybe we were hoping in one of these. But I think on YouTube alone, he got 7 million viewers.
How many?
7 million on YouTube
The
alone.
last I saw had it over 14.
Yeah, but on YouTube?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay, then that's the update. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure people are watching it today because many of us can't watch it in these Sinclair areas.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you're in the DC area, so you couldn't watch it last night. I actually watched it on YouTube. I
was watching pieces of it. Yeah, and YouTube, but otherwise, I mean, it was just blacked out.
Yeah, and I've got to say, credit to Jimmy and his staff. I thought the whole thing was really pitch perfect. I thought he hit all the notes he needed to. He didn't turn into a kiss ass like you see a lot of people do after Trump goes after him. He stood his ground. I thought the joke about Brendan Carr being the most embarrassing car Republicans have embraced since the Cybertruck was fucking fantastic. I also thought the part where he got emotional talking about Erica Kirk, I thought that was it seemed to really come from the heart, and I always appreciate that kind of authentic introspection is what I would say. It seemed to me like it just seems to me like Jimmy Kimmel's a good human being who hates fascism, and I certainly respect that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, right, like everyone wondered what was going to happen, but he could have come out and done X, Y, or Z, and even if it was just a joke or whether or not they actually wanted him to read that little disclaimer about resubscribing, his ability to turn whatever that actually was into but he was true to himself. I mean, it was incredible.
Yeah. And then Disney announces a day later they're raising prices, and it's like, are you fucking joking? Does nobody in that company have any sense of timing at all? I cannot imagine being on that company's PR team. And they're like, hey, so we're going to announce we're not bending to fascism. We are going to reinstate Kimmel, but also we're raising prices. It's like, hey, do you think we could stagger this out a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, and also the fact that whether or not they're bullshitting, all those Republicans out there that are now defying DeSantis and signing up for Disney and supporting Disney and getting their Starbucks. For those that actually did, I guess they're going to get a price hike.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. My thing is I like Disney for the Star Wars shit. I mean, y'all have heard me talk about Andor a million times. And they've got every episode of The Simpsons ever. So I mean, it has stuff that I want, but I don't know that I want those things more than I don't want to live in a fascist country. So it's not a hard decision for me to make.
Yeah, I don't think it's a hard decision for any of us, but I think that is well put. I'm pulling up here. I'm going to try to do this a little different because I think this could be kind of fun.
By the way, can you see comments? I can't see anything.
Yeah, because I have a different tab open, so I'm trying to keep track if people have questions. But we're for those that typically send the comments after the show, will be good today. I finally learned how to have open another tab, which is amazing. But this little item here in today's newsletter, I really liked. So
is this
what
dumb fuck having a hard time with an escalator?
It is indeed. So I was thinking, what I could do here, if I can figure this out, is just, I think most people have seen this, but I feel like we can't not show this too many times here. So, okay, let's pull it up.
For peace, President Trump.
President Trump, why did you cancel the meeting with Chuck Schumer?
My favorite part about this. So my favorite part about this is Melania, who I think we can all agree did not put the Einstein in Einstein visa. It takes her a split second to figure out that a broken escalator is called stairs and you just start walking up them. Whereas dumb shit stood there waiting for the earth to start rotating in his direction so he wouldn't actually have to move his cankles at all. I can't imagine stepping onto a broken escalator and just standing there with a stupid fucking look on my face wondering what's happened. Well,
Yeah,
friend,
I gotta
it
be
became
honest.
Stairs.
I've been on enough broken escalators where that happens, right? And then all of a sudden, like you're walking up 5 steps and it starts moving again. So my first reaction probably would have been like to get the fuck off of there and turn around. But I also love the fact that she did what you just said, because he's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like now I got to keep doing this.
Man, I tell you what really sucks is if that son of a bitch was going to get stuck on a broken escalator, why couldn't it have happened in 2015? Like, why couldn't it happen the first fucking time he came down? That would have been the time to get stuck.
With all the paid actors from Craigslist.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And the very incendiary comment about immigrants. And yeah, by the way, I've been seeing all day that we're supposed to watch our rhetoric about ICE officers, which, by the way, as usual, my response to that is fuck ICE. But I don't understand why we're not supposed to be lowering our rhetoric about the detainees who were actually shot. I mean, is it cool for the president of the United States to keep calling them rapists and murderers? Is it only like white right wingers that we're all supposed to coddle?
I mean, it is so disgusting. One, everything right that is happening that we've been talking about on the ICE front. But two, can you think of anything, I mean, more insulting to be somebody who is rounded up and detained, who is just trying to do their best, work hard, and then while you're detained, you're murdered? I mean, it's fucking crazy.
I mean, you almost want to make a bad joke about how the new American dream is to get shot here. I mean, it's become so synonymous with who we are. No, it's appalling. I mean, we've seen people, I mean, go back to the El Paso shooting, right? I mean, we know that murderer believed a lot of the rhetoric that comes out of Trump. I mean, ever since he came down that escalator, he's been vilifying and demonizing people. And then you got JD Vance and Kristi Noem. They didn't even know any of the facts, but they were immediately ready to say, this is because of anti-ICE rhetoric. My advice for JD Vance is to pretend he's a couch and go fuck himself. I am so beyond pissed off at his behavior today. First of all, don't fucking lecture me about calling my opponents Nazis and Hitler when your bitch ass was calling Trump Hitler not that long ago. Okay? Second of all, who are you trying to impress with this tough guy act? Because none of us are buying it. We all know you fuck your couch. We all know you're not an actual tough guy. We know you're writing press releases in Iraq. I mean, and not only that, you've heard me say this a million times, but when Trump endorsed JD for Senate, JD was sitting on stage when Trump said, and JD can't stop kissing my ass. And JD just took it. And so it's
with a smile.
Yeah. And so the idea that any of us are going to listen to lectures from that asshat is, it's pretty far fetched.
Yeah. I mean, especially, someone like Zelensky who had to sit through, that lecture. They clearly have learned nothing, Sam, since Utah. And so when I was talking to Waj earlier, that photo came out of Kash Patel tweeting out, the images of unspent, unused rounds, where there was some type of ICE statement that I've never even heard the way it was written on there. And, I think there's like a divide going on right now, obviously on the GOP with Candace Owens and everyone else around text messages and all sorts of stuff from Utah and many other things. But what's interesting is, a lot of people are jumping to the conclusion that, two things. One, Kash Patel hasn't learned anything because he's sending out photos of evidence, as stuff that also is just going to make conspiracy theorists go wild. But two, let's just assume for a second that photo is in fact real and not something manufactured by a bunch of people who we know manufacture stuff. It wouldn't be just from like a standpoint of 15 years with the police department. It wouldn't be a weird thing to me if you had an individual who was firing these rounds at detainees, and with all the disinformation that is out there right now, wanted to make it look like the left did it, because his plan was to close his mouth after being arrested or whatever else was going to happen. So whether, whatever the deal is with those, I think that, a lot of these are white men from the right. We got a gun problem. We got a white man problem. We got a mental health problem. We got an extremist problem, but we also clearly have a roof problem, right? Which is not just a Dylan Roof. It's these guys, white guys that are all, got these just insane things, and they're doing them one after the other. But I wouldn't be surprised after Utah if the guy in fact did write that on there to try to suggest that it was the left.
Well, I think the thing that's so upsetting, other than the actual shootings, is we have no fucking way of knowing what's real. I mean, I have zero faith in the FBI. I have zero faith in the executive branch. If you
How
told
can we
me-
trust anything that they're saying,
That's it.
right? When just a week ago,
Well,
week and a half ago, Kash Patel told us that the only person that trafficked women and girls was Epstein, yet his business partner is sitting in a new, better prison version for doing the same thing.
right. Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? So, like, after Utah, Trump and his world could have gone one of two different ways. They could have used it as a moment to try and lower the temperature, bring us all together as Americans and say, look, this shit has gone too far. Both sides, we got to cool it.
But can I say one thing to that point? Because you made a really good
wouldn't
point.
have been true, but yeah.
But you made a really good point 2 or 3 weeks ago and said that maybe what was happening in Wisconsin and Minnesota wouldn't have happened if he had done that when a legislator was killed, right?
Yeah.
There have been endless
Yeah.
opportunities for him to cool the temperature, and maybe something wouldn't have happened after that.
Yeah. I mean, I go back to Gretchen Whitmer's, the attempted kidnapping. Like, that would have been the time for Trump to call his crazies to quiet down. Instead, what he saw was a militia that was willing to serve him like they did on January 6th. But yeah, look, they could have gone one or two ways out of Utah. One was, let's calm everything down. This shit's gone too far. And the other way was, let's use this for politics. Let's use this to blame the left for violence. From now on, all of our talking points, all of our messaging is going to flow in that direction. And so this morning, before we knew anything, you had J.D. Vance and Kristi Noem pushing the bullshit that this was more political violence from the left. And it's like, okay.
And suggesting that law enforcement had been hit or killed as opposed to detainees.
Right. And so, again, assuming they had any credibility to start with, which they do not, they didn't have it today. And I mean, I think even the Joe Rogan crowd, which seems incapable of seeing conspiracies, even though they believe in nothing but conspiracy theories, I think even they are going to look at the words anti-ICE written on a bullet casing, nothing else, by the way, just that, and call bullshit. Because I mean, it doesn't pass the smell test. And I reached out to Kash Patel for comment, and this is what he wrote back.
Did you just did you just do the eyes?
I made the Kash face.
That's the second today. I was on with Waj earlier, and Waj was also doing the voice, and it was very entertaining. I was actually, I'm going to have a photo later in the show here.
The only voice I'm doing these days is Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro talks like this, like his voice is so high. I think he's either huffing helium or heroin.
And speaking of Ben Shapiro, it's really interesting watching all of them, including him, now do everything they can to try to like take pieces of the market from Charlie Kirk. I mean, this civil war that's been going on a number of fronts, is on many different things, including, the lies that we're being told on a daily basis, or what are perceived to be conspiracy theories by, Candace Owens. But they're all going after that audience and tearing each other apart right now.
Yeah, these are not good people. While normal human beings would take the time to mourn their friend, to reflect on how we got here, and to see how they can help his wife and 2 children, vultures don't think that way. Vultures think, I want a piece of, I want a piece of that. I want a piece of that. But I mean, we knew they were bad people to begin with, right? Like, is any of this surprising?
No, and as you said,
And I shouldn't say that. I fucking hate when people say that to me. What, are you surprised? Like,
no,
no,
I
I'm
mean,
not
but
surprised, but I'm shocked.
it's a good point. And as you said, talking about the funeral, first of all, it's not like we saw his parents speak. I didn't even know until a day or two ago that his dad was the chief architect. Charlie Kirk's dad was the chief architect of Trump Tower.
I didn't know
Um,
that either.
I didn't know until maybe a couple of days ago about the whole. We've heard for years Erica Kirk was, Miss Teen of Arizona. I didn't realize that was part of the Donald Trump Miss Teen USA pageant, and I didn't realize that both the Kirks families, one way or another, had worked with Trump before. But it wasn't a funeral, as you pointed out. Well, it wouldn't have been a funeral without the fireworks.
Or talking about fucking tariffs. I mean, I'm telling you right now, if somebody at my funeral starts talking about tariffs, I'm coming back to haunt the shit out of them because that is messed up. I mean, that's the thing. It's like we're supposed to believe Trump.
If somebody
is
would
so-
come to your funeral and talk about tariffs, you were already coming to haunt them for the fact that they somehow got a speaking invite at your funeral.
Well, that would be my other question: is how the fuck did you get in here? It's like, yeah, like who's trying to troll my rotting corpse, sons of bitches?
I'll be waiting for you down here.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I tell you, man, I mean, I guess that's the thing. I didn't know much about Charlie Kirk or his family because I didn't really care. To me, I try to avoid that part of things as much as I can. It's not reality based. It's not. It's very incendiary, and frankly, the news itself is depressing enough these days. I don't have to go down right wing rabbit holes to feel worse about the country.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's a really good point. You mentioned earlier, because we have a bunch of people who have gotten on Midway, whatever. I know people are working and all that good stuff. So everyone who's joining right now, thank you. If you're on Substack and you haven't already hit that little circle in the top corner where it's like scrolling back and forth, and make sure that you subscribe. We don't have a paywall or anything. At the beginning, you talked about Congresswoman-elect Grijalva, whose father was awesome. I spent a lot of time with him back in the day, and he is missed. But I wanted to just pull this clip up. I don't think we necessarily had it in the newsletter this morning, but just for those tuning in, the great news from last night.
Plus, the breaking news tonight, Democrats securing the final push they need to force a vote on the release of the Epstein files, as Democrat Adelita Grijalva wins the special election in Arizona's 7th congressional district.
I know we always have a bunch of shitty news, so I just figured, maybe we'll just throw
it's a
some
good
good
one.
news in here or there,
Well, the other shoe is then you wait to see how Democratic leadership's going to fuck it up, right?
Yeah, they certainly will. We need some new leadership. I also saw this. I don't know if you've seen this yet, Sam, but I wanted to just share it with everybody. With Halloween coming up, I thought this was a great costume that was released today. It's very straightforward, and apparently one size fits all. So if you're looking for anything.
What's
What's up on the screen? It's Spirit Halloween, and it's FBI director. It's just a jacket, but it's a picture of Kash Patel with his eyes.
I was going to suggest you and I do a couple's costume. We each go as one of Kash's eyes.
I'm down. I'll be the East Coast eye. You'll be the West Coast eye.
I think that works, right? Oh, it's so mean. I hate making fun of people's appearances, but when their souls and their insides are that rotten, it seems like fair game.
Well, there's a video. I can't play it on here, but I posted on social media for those that haven't seen. LA really delivered yesterday with a projector.
I thought you were going to talk about the thing we posted today from LA Taco.
LA Taco too, but this was the projector on the wall. But the music that fits so incredibly perfect with it would get us a copyright hit. So I'm not going to pull it up.
Yeah, I frankly, I love that projector stuff. It's like what we saw at Windsor Castle last week. It's just,
it's the theater that you talked about at the beginning.
It
It just doesn't get any better than that.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of something you did, the Kremlin Annex back in the first Trump administration. It's hard to beat a physical protest like that. Something that just beclowns the person it's supposed to beclown. Yeah, no, the thing I was going to say about LA Taco is they did a post yesterday about how people in Los Angeles are putting signs on their businesses that say everybody's welcome here except ICE, which I thought was such a moving thing to do. And I've really been moved by the solidarity I've seen here in LA. The reason I wanted to bring it up was something
I
I was
actually,
not.
by the way, at any point, if you want to play it, I have the video.
Yeah, I do. But at first, I wanted to say when we put that in the newsletter today, something I was not aware of is that this is something that's been happening around the country. And Indivisible has been behind a lot of this. I only knew the LA component of it, but I'm really happy to hear that it's happening in Chicago too.
Yeah, and I mean, same thing when you talked about the Kremlin annex. I mean, the whole thing is, I mean, we've seen Trump and his team do this for years, just with illegally and with really shitty stuff that hurts Americans, right? So like sometimes you just have to kind of like do the theater piece to like try to help Americans and lift stuff up because it's the only thing that seems to get attention, as we saw with that wonderful Epstein and Trump monument that has disappeared way too early. But here's the video.
Well, yeah, you just used the word attention. We live in an attention economy. And when you have a serial criminal like Donald Trump who creates a new scandal every 15 minutes, it is damn hard to break through that shit and get attention for your issues. So yeah, anytime anybody's breaking through with using these methods, I stand up and cheer.
Yeah, I love it. So here I'm gonna add this, and then we'll watch this.
In Los Angeles, food is resistance. In our restaurants, they're more than just places to eat. They're sanctuaries. They're family.
And that's why these new solidarity signs are popping up. They're a simple but powerful way to say we know our rights and we have each other's backs.
Our business would not exist without the immigrant community. They're our customers. They're the people who make our shop run. They are the lifeblood of the city.
What do you hope that customers feel when they see a sign like that in the window?
I hope they feel like this is a safe place to be, that it's a place where everybody is respected.
I think it's important to make sure that everyone is safe, especially in the small businesses. We got to create a safe environment for our people, for everybody. By me posting these signs, I let them know that I'm willing to fight for them and protect them.
This is about prioritizing people over politics. It's about knowing your rights and standing in solidarity with your neighbors. Download your solidarity sign at ilrc.org/solidarity and show your community you stand with them.
Yeah, I mean these tangible things are just so great too,
Yeah, it's real resistance. Yeah, man, I fucking love LA. I swear, I love living. I love this city. It gets such a bad rap. Fox News is convinced half the country that this place is like slipping into the ocean on fire, and it's not. It's a great place. It's a great community where you have people from everywhere. It's I don't know. I think it's what America's supposed to be. But I was just watching.
And they forget how much you guys have been through, not just like dating back to the riots, right? But like the fires, everything.
The fires we had just 9 months ago. It's, yeah,
long term and short term has brought so many people together.
And the food, she's right. The food here is so fucking good. It's I had for lunch today, I had pork rib tacos, and my God, they were incredible.
Yeah, your life is like often unreal, but it's just normal out there. And anytime I have visited you, I've come back like 17 pounds heavier.
Yeah, I know everybody here's like in shape, and I'm like, what are y'all doing that I'm not? Like, are y'all running past the donut shop instead of going inside? Because I don't know how that works.
I was looking through just in terms of the newsletter today, if there was anything else that was, I think that we covered a lot of it, but there was one. Let me just see if I got it. Yeah, here we go. We had this in the newsletter today. So if folks haven't seen, I figured just throw that out there one more time. It's a picture of Melania looking at Donald Trump and on the escalator. And I think, who was it? Like, it was Ron Filipkowski said the love affair continues.
Well, for me, when I see this picture, I just hear Elton John singing, "Can you feel the love?" Don't worry, I swear I won't sing anymore.
No, you were good, just not good enough to get us a copyright hit.
Oh. Yeah, Elton's not going to claim that.
So another thing that we've talked about that I just kind of can't get over, I just want to well, I'm trying to think. Like, it's nice to be in a good mood. So maybe we should just stay away from the mayoral politics of New York City until next week and
You
do
know,
that on the topic.
I thought, well, I mean, one thing we can do is wish everybody, all our Jewish friends, a happy Rosh Hashanah this week.
Yes.
And I noticed that Zoran Mamdani put out a video extending the same well wishes, which I thought was really well done. And, you know, the thing I like about his messaging is he just keeps coming back to the idea that we're all, you know, that they're all New Yorkers. Like, you know, it's sort of like I was talking about LA, like it's a melting pot. It's what we're supposed to be. But anyway, I found his message to be a hell of a lot more believable and sincere than most of those messages I see. And but I don't know if y'all saw the coat that Eric Adams was wearing when he showed up to a Rosh Hashanah event, but my God, like it was so over the top. But yeah,
And
no, I
also,
know.
like, we've seen photos of Eric Adams in the car. I don't know if, like, the one thing I've always noticed is there is the whole back row of his vehicle is a closet that has a jacket for every single thing you could ever need. You know, FBI task force, this. Like like everything is one big photo op, right? As
Right.
opposed to just like showing up somewhere and doing it.
Yeah, this looked like the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. And yeah, it's, you know, that guy's going to be great on Dancing with the Stars. I wish we could just fast forward to that part.
Is there a Turkish version of Dancing with the Stars?
I don't know. But you know, it's funny, like Turkey's run by a fucking asshole Trump ally. And even that guy was on Fox this week, Erdogan, and he was like, yeah, does Trump ended the war in Gaza? No, he has not. Has Trump ended the war in Russia?
Yeah,
or
this is a
Ukraine?
guy who
No,
had
he
his
has not.
fucking goons under the first Trump administration beat up peaceful protesters over an
In
Embassy
America.
Row.
In America. On our soil. And Trump made excuses for him. Yeah, no, I'm so glad you brought that up. I have never forgotten about it. I've never stopped being angry about it. Good for you for bringing that up.
This is, I mean, you were the one that originally flagged that video, and it's been years, but that was like one of the most, you know, I had never seen anything like that in DC. I mean, I what it looked like was, you know, back when there used to be like Club Ibiza and Fur or something. If a nightclub went sideways one night and there was literally a riot, and so much of the Secret Service was just standing around doing nothing.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing about DC. You've got like 30 different police forces in a very small area, right?
Yeah, actually, I think it's like maybe it's like 57. It's like
Oh,
between
wow.
40 and 60 that have the ability to like make arrests, write tickets, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's why I live in
And,
LA.
and yet we needed more. Yeah, we needed the National Guard and everyone else.
Right. Yeah. Well, you know, it's not being politically correct. Which, by the way, I had
No.
no idea Trump was still saying that. You know, it's not politically correct. Oh, you're so fucking edgy. You know, it's like, don't look now, but you're the establishment, brosif.
The other thing, I'm gonna just pull up really quickly. I don't think we've put the DC flags in. Have we the DC flags in a newsletter?
I don't think so.
Okay,
I
so
don't know, because I'm not real sure what you're talking about.
Okay, so this is why I love DC. Basically, all these homes that have never even like had an American flag. First of all, DC, the flag of DC is sold out everywhere in DC. You can't get it; it's impossible to find right now. And one thing that is really cool, and I'm going to use Penguin 6, who you and I were talking about yesterday, as the example here. Let's share this screen, because this is what America does best, you know, when everybody comes together. Here we go. So in DC right now, home after home after home throughout the city, if
Oh,
they
that's
had an
great.
American flag, they're replacing it with the DC flag. If they didn't, they're buying one and they're putting it up. And when you walk these neighborhoods, everyone is just putting up the DC flag all throughout all four quadrants of the cities, northwest, northeast, southwest, and southeast. And it's very cool. I mean, it's a nice silent way to show that, like, you know, you're with your neighbors and so forth.
Yeah, no, I love that. It's sort of like what we were just talking about with the signs on different businesses. I mean, that's the thing. Like, if you're like me and you're desperate to believe America or Americans are better than Donald Trump, then shit like this helps you fortify that belief. Because, man, there's so much out there to help you believe that America is a shithole filled with shitheads and our best days are behind us. And they weren't that great to begin with. When I see stuff like this, when I see neighbors protecting neighbors, when I see neighborhoods coming together to run ICE agents away, then I remembered, yeah, we are pretty fucking great when we want to be. When we're not giving in to our racist asshole neighbors, we're actually pretty good.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that the difference, in addition to what you just said, which I think encompasses everything, is the difference between us and them. Although we should all be Americans, is we're not like flying flags upside down and putting up crazy flags and all that stuff. The folks at DC, after everything they've been through, are just putting up their city flag.
Yeah, although I do see quite a few upside down American flags, and I can certainly appreciate where those folks are coming from.
I'm fine with that as long as you're not on the Supreme Court.
Well, that wasn't even an American flag, right? It was like some like weird.
I think it started with the U.S. It started with the
Is that
U.S.
right?
flag, and then I think at their like vacation home they had that tree one.
Jesus, well, it's not like he's got an important position in the U.S. government or anything.
No, not at all. And but proud of
Say,
my
say,
better
Sam,
half,
Sam
Allie.
Alito, if you're watching this, please kiss my ass.
Yeah, and proud of my better half, Allie, for getting you on a recording undercover at your little event.
Oh, yeah.
But so anyways, any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Yeah, man, I wanted to say thank you. The sexy patriots are the people who are engaged. The sexy patriots are the people who call the Sinclair station. They're the people who cancel the Disney subscription. They're the people who are voting with their wallets in between elections. They're the people who are saying, we're not going to put up with this shit.
Everybody's hearting the screen right now, by the way, on Substack. So
Good.
Thank you, because that actually gets it even farther in the algorithm so more people see it.
Yeah. We sent a message this week, and that message is Trumpism is not inevitable. We are not going to roll over and let you decide what we say and who gets to say it. And that happened because of the sexy patriots. People just like them all over this country. It can feel like America's over, but just remember, it's not over till we fucking say it is. And we're not done yet. We are not done yet.
I was gonna say, like, can we not be done yet? Can we keep going?
Yeah, no, we're not done yet. And you saw that Trump had a little temper tantrum on Truth Social when Kimmel was coming back last night. And that's fine. He can whine, he can bitch, he can shit his pants, he can do whatever the fuck he wants to, but he can't shut us up. And he learned that this week, and he's going to learn it again.
Sam, that's a really good point, because given the timing of that, what it shows, and also what he said, right, was that he thought he had a guarantee that wasn't going to happen. So
yeah, well, it makes you wonder, like, did somebody actually tell him that, or was it somebody backstage with tears in their eyes telling him, sir, we're canceling Kimmel to make you happy? He makes shit up every day, so I don't know why I believe
it's
that.
a good question. But when we got an FCC chair who wears a gold, and I'm sure it's not actually gold, but a pin of Trump's face with the double chin on his suit coat, there's probably a pretty good chance that someone did tell him that.
Yeah, what a loser. What an ass-kissing fucking loser.
I agree. Everyone's like, we can't be done. We can't be done. I totally agree in terms of the country, but I got all the comments. So we have those for after the show.
So
thank you guys for
done,
something before.
Not?
Yeah, I think for now, but we can always, what is it? It's Wednesday. We can always like pop in and do a surprise Thursday or Friday, whatever. We're on your schedule, Sam.
Well, I appreciate that. And I'm on my day job schedule, but I'd love to do it again Friday. I enjoy the hell out of this, and I enjoy reading the comments after we get done.
Yeah, and also it seems like this works, so I'm not going to jinx anything, but I think we finally figured out how to make it so we can go live and play videos and show photos. So
amazing. We're figuring it out.
We are. We're winning.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you for staying in this fight.
Thank you, man. Sam is the brains behind the bulk of everything that goes into that newsletter every day. So he keeps all of us sane as long as he's not on my ass.
Yeah. Also, I don't know that brains are what's making that newsletter tick, but I appreciate it all the same.
It's apple cider donuts.
So
wink,
good.
wink,
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you guys for being here.
Thanks,
You guys are the best.
Love y'all.
Talk to y'all soon. See ya.